California's ban of gas-powered vehicles likely illegal and unrealistic. And they try to pretend like these electric vehicles are more environmentally friendly than gas powered, but it doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to EV electric vehicles because these creating these batteries is unsustainable. You have to get all these raw materials and all this other stuff, and to create this stuff they use gas, they use oil to create these materials and all this other stuff. So it's not as environmentally friendly as they pretend it is. We really don't have a real alternative to gas powered vehicles if you're looking to be environmentally friendly, and they know this. So but I don't but they pretend like this is better than gas powered vehicles because they have to look like they're doing something. And of course it's about control as always. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And also follow me on Twitter. There's a link for that also. All right, let's talk about this news. California plans to ban the sale of gas powered cars by 2035. In 2021, California required 12% of, of total new vehicle sales to be powered by batteries or hydrogen. By 2026, their goal is to reach 35%. By 2030, 68%. And in 2035, 100% powered by batteries or hydrogen. Like, where did they come up with these artificial numbers? Oh, by 2030, by 20, who are the scientists, supposed scientists that come out with this stuff? They never have the scientists come out and talk about this stuff or their rationale or how they came up with these numbers. They just arbitrarily say, okay, by 2035 we're gonna ban everything, and damn the science. Like, it makes no sense to me. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko tweeted out, Democrat-run California is banning gas-powered cars by 2035. The average cost of an electric vehicle is around $67,000. So that's about if that's about the same price as a big SUV. And people can't afford that right now, especially with inflation and recession and all that other stuff. How can regular people afford a $67,000 vehicle? And that's what they're saying. They said just get rid of your gas powered guns and gas powered vehicles and buy this $67,000 vehicle. Most people can't afford that right now. And the tweet goes on to say that, and the state's electric grid already can't keep the lights on. This will be an energy disaster. No wonder people keep leaving California. It's true. How many rolling blackouts can you have? How many blackouts can you have? And it's going to get worse because of the banning of gas and all this. Like, it makes no sense. Newsom is running California to the ground. But again, I have no empathy whatsoever for the people of California because you keep voting these crazy people in office, these crazy leftists that want to tell you everything to do in your life. They want to control every avenue, every aspect of your life. Y'all keep voting them in, so I really have no empathy for California. But President and CDO of the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, John Bozella, said, quote, whether or not these requirements are realistic or achievable is directly linked to external factors like inflation, which I talked about, charging and fuel infrastructure, supply chains, labor, critical mineral availability and pricing. And then that's another thing that I was alluding to, the raw material that it takes to build this. And he goes on to say, and the ongoing semiconductor shortage. These are complex, intertwined, and global issues. Correct. And it seems like California does not care about these problems. They're just going to push this initiative anyway. The Alliance for Automotive Innovation represents major automakers, so Bozella's statement should be taken seriously as he notes that the ban on gas-powered vehicles and mandating people to drive electric vehicles would be, quote, extremely challenging for the automakers to meet the demands. According to the Independent Women's Forum, banning gas-powered cars is likely unconstitutional, which it is. You can't tell someone, that California is one of the most over-regulated states in the country. Mandy Gunnaskara states, quote, first, it could violate the Commerce Clause as it creates unreasonable burdens on interstate commerce, and I agree with that, i.e., the manufacture and sales of vehicles. The Supreme Court has long held that the Commerce Clause has taken a, quote, self executing limitation on the power of states to enact laws which restrict interstate commerce. Second, under the Clean Air Act, California is required to receive a waiver from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in order to set its own more stringent emission standards. So those are two laws and two regulations, a law and a regulation right there that's actually basically saying that California can't do this. So I can't wait to see the legal challenges that I'm sure to come from this. Um, Gunna Gunna Sekara also mentioned that the ban is unrealistic. She said, quote, California has purchased electric vehicles for decades through a variety of tax breaks and subsidies. Only 12.5% of drivers own an electric vehicle. This is a higher percentage of drivers compared to other states, but 78% of EV owners also own a second gas powered vehicle to supplement their needs. Even with major advancement in EV technology, the reality that recharging batteries takes hours while filling up gas takes minutes is a leading reason consumers continue to prefer gas powered vehicles. EVs are also very expensive with an average cost of $54,000. Most Americans cannot afford to pay luxury level prices. This is especially the case with growing inflation. I mean, 67,000, she said 54, but now we know it's about 67,000. I could get an Escalade for that price. You know what I'm saying? Like I could get a really nice luxury vehicle for that price. 67 is probably the lower end, and that's not really a really great electric car right there. So I mean, come on now, California. But not everybody wants to drive an electric vehicle, even if they could afford one. They might prefer gas powered or hybrid. That should that should be the individual's choice to make. Gunnaskara explained in detail that the ban would do little for the environment, saying, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, but she said, quote, while marketed as zero emissions, electric vehicles have a series of environmental trade-offs. They require 10 times the amount of minerals in their batteries compared to gas-powered engines, and the majority of these minerals come from Chinese-controlled mines in Africa that disregard environmental protections and regularly use child and forced labor. Of course, they're not going to speak on that. The left is not going to talk about that. Further, more expensive cars mean Americans drive older vehicles longer. This trend can undercut the reach and effectiveness of safety and efficiency improvements that come with newer models. Finally, this push towards electric vehicles will require more energy on the grids. California has already struggled to meet current demand, and a ban on gas-powered vehicles will only make their grid problems worse. And so it's going to be more blackouts for California. Not to mention Californians being able to drive to a neighboring state such as Nebraska, buy their car of their choosing, and drive back to California. This ban on gas-powered vehicles is flawed, unrealistic, and likely unconstitutional. This should go without saying, but the local, state, and federal governments should not tell the American people what they can and can't drive. Instead of forcing their wants on Californians, they should negotiate with China, the world's biggest carbon polluter. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest new news. Until next time, peace.